Hello and a warm welcome to Personal Finance. I'm Gugulethu, Cele. Well, we all know that August is Women's Month in South Africa. So on this episode, we take a rather personal finance issue to heart by taking a look at how single mothers have to manage their finances and hopefully not feel the pressure. To give us perspective, I'm joined in our Cape Town studios by Sore Cloete, Senior Legal Advisor at Old Mutual. Sore, thank you so much for making time today. Good to have you with us. And looking at recent research that's been compiled by the Old Mutual Savings and Investment Monitor, I understand that just over 20% of single mothers actually feel financially secure. Give us more details with regard to this.
Thank you very much, Gugulethu. Yes, that's the case. Only 20% of single mothers actually feel secure or actually save enough. And they're all under pressure based on the fact that they're single mothers, and often they have to look after their parents as well. What is even more alarming is that only 12% of these single mothers actually receive anything from their former husbands or anything in the form of maintenance, which put a lot of pressure on them.
Talk to us a little bit more about some of the challenges that they face there, especially when it comes to making big asset purchases or management of debt. Are these key frustrations on a day-to-day basis for them?
That's definitely key frustrations. They have to live day to day, look at all the different things that come across their road, like education for their children, as well as what I've mentioned just now, looking at providing for their parents. So there's a lot of challenges, and this often means that they don't have enough to have ends meet at the end of the day, basically.
Are there particular reasons, Sore, as to why single mothers find themselves in these difficult financial conditions?
It's the challenging society that we're living in today, and a lot of these single mothers don't often have the facility of doing proper budgets, and they don't often have the facility of looking at their financial analysis. And often these single mothers also don't think about the fact that they need financial guidance, and that's where a financial advisor could play a pivotal role in assisting them in making sure that they do have their ends meet at the end of the day.
Talk us through some of these solutions, like speaking to a financial advisor. I know that it always boils down to an individual process and constructing a financial plan which is unique to you and your needs.
Google, thank you very much for asking that. That is exactly it. Each financial plan differs from individual to individual, from mother to mother, from each client to client. And often clients and even single mothers think that they don't have, because they don't have any funds, they cannot approach a financial advisor. Now, what a financial advisor does for you is it looks at your specific circumstances. And in the case of a single mother or any client, the best first thing to start with is looking at a budget. A monthly budget to try and meet what you've got. Do not spend more than what you receive at the end of the month. And starting at a budget, the financial advisor could look at where you could cut down a little bit and start to put something away for a rainy day and even for yourself.
Are there particular financial products that are more popular with single mothers? Perhaps some kind of life insurance which is tailored to the concerns that face single mothers these days?
That's a very, very important question. And a product depends on the specific need of the single mother. And being a single mother, being on her own, having children to provide for, life product is a very important product. But that's not the only product she should look at. She should look at what she can afford, as well as planning for her retirement and for a rainy day. So a life product is very, very important. And the life product with a little bit of disability is a good idea for a single mother, depending on what she can afford and what her specific circumstances are. And also looking in this case, and you didn't say that, but saving is very, very important. And government introduced the tax-free savings vehicle last year, which is a nice opportunity for a single mother to at least put a little bit of money away for the future in that new product that was provided for it during last year.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Sore, because clearly there could be elements that single mothers could share regarding saving and budgeting with their children as well, because a lot of the time they have a very close relationship with their youngsters and perhaps can educate them too about their financial experiences.
Very, very true, because what we've also found in our savings monitor is that these single mothers look after elderly parents or extended family as well, which means that they don't have any savings put away, which means that they would, in the end of the day, also look in their children's eyes once they reach a certain age. So if the single mothers could teach their children at a very early age the value of money, starting to work, what you can do, that you need to budget, then these kids won't fall into the same trap. There's a vicious cycle of just always looking after extended family. And the best thing that a single mother could actually teach his or her child, or rather her child, is how to work with money and the value of money.
Sore, to get to your perspective now, given that you are a legal eagle, what about maintenance? Do single mothers, according to the research that's been conducted by Old Mutual, receive a significant amount of maintenance from the parents, co-parents of their children? And are there ways of means to making sure that they get a sufficient amount?
There's definitely ways and means. Unfortunately, we see that only 12% of these single mothers do get maintenance in any form from their former husbands or from the dads of these kids. There's definitely ways and means of approaching different maintenance courts, different options of trying to get more funds from the dads, but often that is a struggle. There's various ways of trying to get it, but as the single mother is alone in this challenge, basically, there's various ways of her trying to approach different courts of getting maintenance as well.
And I take it that's a catch-22 situation, because you need to spend on the legal fees and the costs associated with getting maintenance back, and perhaps the maintenance isn't enough itself.
Gugulethu, that is absolutely 100% correct. Is the effort of spending money to get money really going to be worth it? So it's weighing up, and also what the circumstances of that single mother is, whether she would be able to get maintenance from the former dad, which is a challenge in itself. The better the financial advisor assists the single mother in doing a proper financial analysis to look at what she can spend and how she can meet challenges, is probably one way of looking at it as well.
I know from an Old Mutual perspective, you've run a few roadshows advising mothers and offering some suggestions in your personal finance roadshow. Are you able to talk us through some of the major themes and suggestions that often come through?
The personal finance roadshow is very important. It looks at what is the importance of advice. We found, and I've mentioned this before, that a lot of our clients and even single mothers often think that they cannot afford advice, and that is so wrong. Any person can afford advice. The fact that you have a challenge ahead of you of how to look at your finances means you need advice. So the fact that you don't think you have money doesn't mean you don't need advice. Any person can basically be advised, and your advice is based on what your circumstances are, and that is why our roadshow is so important, because the roadshow looks at what each client's circumstances is and what the specific needs of that specific client is and how to meet that specific client, because each client is different. And the fact that you think you cannot afford advice is not a reason not to seek financial advice.
Sore, we've certainly said quite a bit, but for the viewers who have been watching, what are the key considerations to bear in mind when it comes to efficient financial management for single mothers in South Africa?
I think the key thing is try and find a financial advisor to assist you, and then look at a monthly budget. Start with a budget. The fact that you have funds available could be the fact that you have a budget. Start with a budget. That's the most important thing of any financial plan, and then work from there.
Sore, thank you so much for your time today and for giving us perspective here on how single mothers can hopefully tackle some of the financial challenges that they have. That's where we'll leave it for tonight. A big thank you once more to Sore Cloete, who's the legal advisor at Old Mutual, for joining us this evening. Now remember that you too watching at home can share your comments and feedback with us, and perhaps even your own personal story as to how you're trying to be financially fit. And feel free to share all of that feedback with us on @CNBC Africa, using the hashtag Finance410, or to myself @Gugulethu. Until next time though, that's how we wrap up our view of the show, but be sure to stay in touch and keep watching.